everybody. Welcome. Today is our YouTube hop with the Take 5 Facebook group. So on before me just now was Susan over at So Inspired Designs, and I have put everybody's links down here in the description of this video. So we're live streaming only in YouTube today. Oh my goodness. I'm just like, where am I streaming to? So you guys, I have this fun Peacock print that we're going to do today. I told you we would work on some cards, and so I think that's what we're going to get started with right away. And I love this. I have sized it to be the regular little, small card size, where you can get a couple of cards out of an 8.5 by 11. And so I've got 4 card fronts here, and I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting them apart. I want a little bit of a background showing behind them. I'm not going to do white. The colors are a little bit muted and softer, although I did select something that kind of had some hints of spring. What do you think? Do you like kind of springy things right now? It is so gorgeous here today. Yesterday, I know it was like at what was it? It was at when I looked one time, it was 81 degrees. My daffodils are all blooming. Hey, Jeannie. And so just very spring-like here where we are down in Texas. So I'm going to cut my little backgrounds first. And this is one of the pinks I had out the other day for something. And when I asked the audience what they thought, they decided, something else. So for an 8.5 by 11, that means width-wise it would be 4 1/4. So I'm only going to do... No, I do want to do 4 1/4 because I'm going to cover up the entire white part of my card. And this way it doesn't matter if I use white or like the cream colored or whatever. But this will be behind my prints. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do 4 inches. Wait, 4 inches by 5 1/4. No, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, got it. I gotta pay attention when I'm doing. Hey there, Mary. How are you doing? So 4 1/2 by 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Phew. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna keep this. I might want to use that. Always keep your scraps. Oh my goodness. I gotta turn a fan on in here. Sometimes I have to turn the fan off so it doesn't blow stuff I'm using or doing, and then other times I need that thing turned down. Okay, so we're just going to cut our backgrounds first of all. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. What are you guys up to today? Yes, and this Peacock paper may be a hint as to something that would be available as your little gift in this week's newsletter that'll come out on Sunday, my Sunday summary. I have a link to that in the description as well. Okay, so now let's cut these. And this is on cardstock. I wanted it to be a little bit more sturdy. It's just easier to deal with it. So I've got it printed on cardstock. Okay, so now this time I want these to be just 4 inches wide, and that'll give me a little bit of that pink border peeking. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we're going to have more than a little bit of the pink border. And that's fine. We'll just, let me cut one of these out and see if I might need to trim a little bit more off. Well, I don't know how I did that. You know, sometimes you get things, you think you've got them all sized right, and then when you start to use them, it's like, well, that's not right. Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to make sure I've got about the same distance around, if I can kind of center it. Actually, that's not too bad. I think I'll just leave it. So that'll work well. Okay, so we'll just cut these out as they are, and it looks like, who knows, maybe I already figured that in. You never know. But it's not super bright. I love Peacock colors. I tell you, the really bright Peacock blues and the kind of, you know, blues and purpley tones and teals and, oh my goodness, and then, you know, with the little hints of gold that they have. I just think all those colors are just beautiful. Hey, have any of you guys ever seen, oh, let me see if I can think of what the site is called. Something Seed. Shoot, I can't even think of it now. But there's a site that you can put a picture in, and it will, you know, pull out the colors. And a lot of people share the, you know, a photo, and, you know, and then it'll bring together a color palette. And I tell you what, you know, it's just amazing what a gorgeous color palette is in almost any scene in nature. You know, and it doesn't really matter what time of year it is. It just all goes together. It's just absolutely beautiful. So if you're ever, and I've talked about this before, not in a long time, but you know, if you're ever really struggling for a color palette, you know, take a look at something in nature. And a lot of times you can put something in and it has, there's a lot of ways to pull out colors and get that color palette from a photo. And so if you're struggling for a, you know, a fresh color palette that you want to use, give that a try, because you can just come up with the most gorgeous color palettes. So there we go. Now then, I think what I'm going to do before I put these on that backer, I think I'm going to see about just inking it a little bit. Now I've got this color, this distressed oxide that's called Tattered Rose, and it's not really bright or vivid, but oh no, Jeannie, you're having yucky rain, huh? I'm gonna try to just kind of hit the edges a little bit, and that just'll kind of, when we get everything all together, and you can't really even see hardly that I'm doing it, but when it's all put together, it might show up a little bit better when we get it onto the background paper. Yeah, you can't really see that at all. Let me grab a piece of plain paper. And I'll use that, and then maybe I can get a little bit more leverage. A little more leverage, and see how that goes. I don't think this is on there. This is my least favorite way to put ink, are these flat spongy things. I don't really like them. I never had very good luck trying to do any distressing with these. I was using a brush a minute ago, but it seemed like it was adding more brown. It must not have been cleaned out very good. You know, you could even put, you know, that favorite color I laugh about all the time, that vintage photo. You could even put a little dab of that on, or, you know, go brighter. I just did not give myself enough time, and I wish I would have pulled out something with a little bit more color, but these colors are so muted, I just don't know that that would have looked that great. But we're going to put this on here, Yeah, I don't know. I think the brown would be way, way, way too much. So we'll just go with this. Although I don't know, I like a little bit of, well, you know, I can always make another one. Let's give it a whirl. Let's just give it a little whirl. And I'm not going to put much. I don't want a lot on it. Let's just see how it looks. Just a teeny tiny bit. Just ever so lightly. How we like that? Well, I kind of like that. It just kind of gives it a little bit more definition between the print and our mat. Let's see how we like that. There, I like that a lot better. It just kind of comes together better, I think. How do you guys like that? You like that? Okay. Let me make sure I can. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys. Ruh-roh. Well, now that's a problem. You guys, I gotta reach over here in my closet and grab a pair of pliers. Hang on one second. Oh my goodness. When I was making those little dangly things with the beads, I had some beads out. And my little pliers. Let me pull this in here. Okay, now I can go ahead and stick it down in there too. Clear out that clog. Okay, there we go. I don't know, when I looked and it looks like I've had some glue leak out there. I don't know what's going on with this. We did have to use it. My granddaughter was working on a project for school, and she first tried to use some of that double-sided tape runner. I don't even know where she found it. And I'll tell you what, I have no idea how old that stuff was. And then like a couple of days later, she still had her project here she was working on. And I looked at it and it is just coming apart. I mean, it's just like coming apart at the seams, so to speak. Oh my goodness. And I felt so bad for her. And so I, you just used this glue and stuck it behind there. And one piece came all the way out and I had to call her. Luckily, she was already home. And I asked her, I said, where did this piece go? Was it tucked behind, the back piece? And she goes, yeah. So I said, okay, well, we need to fix that. And she looked at it and she goes, what did you do? I go, I didn't do anything to it. The tape did not hold well. So, that can happen. I used to have cards that went to my mom, and it was actually that same brand of tape. And I don't know if I just got some that, was not their best quality product. I don't know if I had a batch that just was not good and would not hold its stick, so to speak. And they would get to my mom and she'd be like trying to put them back together. And after my mom was gone, she had saved every handmade card that anybody had ever given her. And there was a church group of ladies, and they were always making handmade cards and sending her a card. And so I'm looking through all the cards, and so I came across some of them that I had sent, and I could tell they were the ones that had fallen apart because the way she put them back together, that was not the intended design. And I thought, well, how crummy that somebody has to put their own card back together when they get it, right? Not exactly what you're hoping for when they open their mail. Oh my goodness. We got the barkers coming through. Thanks, Janie. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And it's got enough of this kind of, and it's kind of a soft, muted tone, it sort of has a little bit of a vintage feel. So yeah, I don't think this is a bad addition. Goodness, what is that noise? Oh, my husband must be at, my husband is home. He doesn't work till a little bit later today. I think he's out using one of those things that blows leaves or, you know, stuff, just blows stuff around. Like, what is that noise? I first thought it was some kind of a weird siren thing. If there's any sirens going on here, I want to know. Especially if it means I should be taking shelter. My husband asked me when we first moved here, or we hadn't been here very long, and he asked me if I wanted to, you know, put in some kind of a storm shelter. And I laughed and I said, no, I'm okay. I said, I have already looked up how many times there have been any kind of tornadoes or, you know, anything like that in this area. And I said, I'm okay. I said, you know, my goodness, there's some places that have tornadoes so often that, yeah, I would want a storm shelter. So here, not so much in our area. So I'm like, nah, I'm okay. Although, and you know, and his parents lived somewhat south of us. I don't know, it's probably about 25, oh, I don't know, 25, 30 miles maybe from where we are now. And one time they thought maybe they had a tornado. And in the end, I mean, their whole neighborhood, well, and it was so weird because, you know, it was just like one of those things. Part of the neighborhood really got hit bad and part didn't. And they came in and determined I don't know who they is, they, you know, they say, and they had determined that they were straight line winds. And we had that happen one time where we lived in Minnesota, and just where we happened to live, there was a big hill kind of behind us. There was a street that ran behind us, and on the other side of the street was this big hill, and houses were all up there. And we just, you know, we had a lot of trees. We did have one tree that it took down. It was a big old pine tree, and it was so funny. And I go, oh, that's great. About the time I decided it would be fun to decorate the tree with lights at the holidays, I'm like, there's no way we can get up there and do that ourselves. It was too tall. And so when the tree came down, I'm like, well, now I can measure and see how tall the tree was. It was about 22 feet. So then I knew, but then it was gone. But we really did not sustain a lot of damage right there. I think we were kind of protected just by other things that were around us in that hill. And we drove up in the neighborhood that was up on that hill behind us. And oh my goodness, they had a lot of problems. So many people had roof issues, and it just really took out a lot of stuff. And that was the way that it was down at his parents'. They really had, the neighborhood was just, you know, it was a big mess. And he and one of the girls came down. We were still living up in Minnesota then. And they came down and helped him get cleaned up and stuff. And there were people that were coming around and making sure that people had, you know, water and, you know, all kinds of stuff, a bite to eat. And I told him, I go, wow. I said, was it really that bad? And he goes, yeah. I said, it's part of the neighborhood is just, you know, he goes, it is in bad shape. Well, then when some people, one or two streets over, rebuilt their place, what they did was they built this really odd looking home, and it was kind of a I don't know, it was kind of like a dome shape or something. It was very different, and it was supposed to be something that would sustain storms a lot better, you know, but they had decided that it was just straight line winds was what it was, same kind of thing. So then I've got these two here. Now I don't really have anything I'm going to do with them now, you know, but I did want a couple of coordinating prints that I could use if I wanted to. And I think later I'm going to go ahead and make them a smaller print to be a coordinating print. I think that would be fun. But I really love the colors. You guys like these colors? What do you think about those? So now let's go ahead and let's put down some words. And I thought, you know, peacocks, there's a lot of fun things about peacocks they're bright, they're colorful. You know, they look like kind of a, when they start strutting their stuff, it just seems like, you know, they really have it all together. And I have kind of curated some little phrases here so that I could have something for, you know, whatever I wanted to. And when you're making cards, sometimes this is a good way to make cards. You make your, and of course I'm still going to put these on, you know, the cards themselves, and this will cover that up. I don't have one here handy. I might, but we'll do that in a second. But you've got your cards, and you know, these could be rather generic, right? I don't have anything on them yet. I don't have any kind of a sentiment on them. And so if you have like something and you can stamp them, you could print them out, whatever you want to do. So I have these to where I've got birthday, get well, congratulations, sympathy, thinking of you, and thank you. And all I have to do is cut off whatever, you know, seems to be appropriate, and you know, and then just put it on my card. And actually, you know, and then I also thought I should have, and I've got a better way I think I'm going to do this, but since we're going to use these just the way they are right now, and I'll show you what we can do since they're longer word strips. I'm just going to slice them out of here. Now, as soon as I slice one section, I'm going to lose what category it was. Oh, I should put those in my little thing I made the other day, that little my little accordion file that I made out of envelopes. Hey, that would be a fun thing. We could divide up our little things. Here, I'm going to put in oh, here's a good one. I've got some family that has been sick, and this would be a cute little one to put on here. This one says, hoping each day brings you closer to feeling your best. That's perfect. So I'm just going to slice it kind of in the middle here. Put those at the side. And I'm probably going to have to divide this strip up because it's going to be too long. So let's snip off the end, or the ends, both of them. Snip both ends, and maybe I'll just cut it between the U and the closer. Okay, and now I'm going to put a little bit of that pinkish color on. And this is not, even though this is a more peachy color than the pink that we put on the outside, it's going to be far enough away from that pink that nobody's going to know. They're not going to realize it's a real different color. And the fact that it kind of still coordinates with some tones in here, it will be fine. It kind of makes your eye look like, is that the right color? I mean, I can see it is not the exact color. But you know what? Sometimes you just use what's handy. Sometimes you just get it done, right? How many of you do that? You just go ahead and just do it. Hey, Donna. So we can just put this down here, put part of it over here. And I think I like that best. I'd rather leave all the top. And even though it's going to cover up some of the tail, I think I like it best down here. And you know, you could put we could pop it up with some dimensionals. Let's do that. Give it a little depth. Should we do that? Oh, these are so tiny. Sometimes they are a little bit difficult when we get them on there, right? Just put these all on here. There's so many sizes of these, and then sometimes you can get them that's a whole roll and you just cut off how much you want. They come in different thicknesses, different sizes. Okay, and now I'm going to use my trick somebody shared with me. I still, every time I think about this, I still can't believe I've used these things for years and years and never heard anybody tell this. Ew, I got glue on this pokey tool. Oh my goodness, it's got too much glue. I'm gonna use my real sharp pokey tool. So if you just like take them and then just get like kind of give them a dent with your fingernail, so there's something about that will kind of loosen it up enough that it's easier to like pick them off. Now watch, I'll say that. Ooh, this isn't very, you know, this is funny. I was thinking that little tool was way sharper. And even if you've got enough sticky on here, even if you've got a little bit that doesn't come off, they'll be fine. You'll have plenty that will stick. Okay, so we've got that part. And let's put on this one. Yikes, I got it stuck to me. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of liquid glue on these because that'll help me be able to slide it around. Some people just seem to be able to just put the things right where they want them. I'll put them on there, and even though I will arrange it, I'll go, oh, that wasn't right. So now, maybe I'll put the bottom one on first, you guys, and then we'll go and decide what's the best place for the top one. Okay. Oh my goodness. Things just flipping around everywhere. Okay, so I got glue on there. So I'm just going to put it down here across the bottom and try to get it eyeballed and lined up. Okay. I think that's straight. And now we'll do the other one. I've got some family that's been sick. This will be perfect. And just make sure that's straight. I think that's pretty good. And just kind of tap it down. I don't want to push it down too much and bend it. Okay, so there we've got that. Now let's put some other fun stuff. You can put stickles or shimmer brush or whatever you want to, you know, add some other glitz to these. And I got some, and I love the Nuvo drops. These are Dream Drops, and they make the perfect little drops. I also got a new Nuvo crystal drop, and this one is called Morning Dew, and it will dry clear. And I was giving this a try, and it certainly seems to dry faster than things that we used to use years ago. And so I'm kind of happy about that. Let's grab our shimmer brush. And let's just, I don't know, whoa, goodness, I took the whole thing off. I didn't need to open it, guys. And so you can just, you know, kind of put some on, and it just is this really soft shimmer effect. And it's hard to catch on camera usually. But I think it would be so pretty to add to, like, the feathers, the peacock feathers. But certainly in person, you know, it'll just catch the light and people will be able to see it when people, you know, receive your card. But I think it's just so pretty. We'll just kind of brush some on here. I just think I'll just gonna put it on the whole thing. I'm going to come back. I've got one that is has a hint of gold, and I think I'll put that on the part of the feathers, kind of their little peacock eye feathers. See how it's got a little bit of a gold color there? Let's put a little bit of gold on that part. Whoops! Oh my goodness, I'll have that one up part too. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the gold here. And then I think what I'll do is I think I'll just put a tiny drop into the center. Let's put a little clear drop in the center of these. Just a little tiny drop. It just is going to give it a little bit of, when it dries, it'll be kind of shiny and pretty. You don't have to give very much. And if you want it to kind of flatten out, not be so much of a little circle, you can, you know, just kind of rub it around a little bit, just a little dab. Just so it's got a little something something. Here, I'll pick that up so you can see. Let me see if you can see the shine. Look at the shimmer and the shine. So, you know, when it hits the light, or when somebody is using it, they'll be able to, you know, see that. And then you can just keep on adding, you know, whatever you want to. I sometimes like to add a little bit of stickles to stuff. I tell you, a little bottle of this will go a long way. I tell you that. I'm always using this stuff. And it's kind of like contained glitter. You don't have to worry about it being all over everywhere. And, you know, you could just do as much or as little as you like. And I think I'm going to put it on a lot of these little leaves. We're going to fancy this girl up. Actually, this would not be a girl. This would not be a female. How many of you have seen a female peacock? I'm sorry to say they are not this beautiful. They're rather plain. Not these gorgeous colors like the male birds. You know, they have to be able to show off. They gotta show off. They have to be show-offs. Now, let's get out we've got some of these pink colors. This is where you could just really go to town with all the goodies you've been collecting, right? Then you just have to be careful you're not sticking your fingers in all of them. So we've got some pink here, and you can just take these and just kind of, you know, just kind of wiggle it around. It'll give, you know, just a little bit of dimension. And if you want to put some little dots. This particular one is called Love Potion, and it's the Dream Drops. So if you know, if you're looking, and oh my goodness, Nuvo has so many products. So many. And I've liked all of them that I've tried, I have to say. If you do enjoy like making the little kind of, if you like to use the enamel dots, you can kind of basically make little faux enamel dots by using these. And somebody from the company told us that the Dream Drops, if you're new to using them, the Dream Drops are the easiest to use. That they make the, you know, making a dot the most perfect, the easiest. So I don't know why that would be. Okay, so we've got that. We've used a little pink. Let's use a little bit of, this one is called Cloud 9. And several of these I have are iridescent, and that's one of the reasons I love using them. I love using the iridescent ones. How many of you like iridescent? Do you like using iridescent things too? Oh my goodness, I got myself talking on here. There we go. All right, so I think I'm just going to add a little bit of this on these buds. Even though they were pink, with this iridescent color, I think it'll still be pretty. We'll just kind of tap that on. So by the time we're done with this, we have added a lot more dimension to our paper and our card. And I love adding these things that are so easy. You know, they're not like the little gems that get old and don't stick. You know, you've just got all of this ready to go, and you can just use it wherever you want. Do you see any more of those little... Sometimes I do stuff like this, and then I'll come back going, oh, I missed this. I totally missed that part. Totally missed this part. And you know, that could be plenty. I do think I'd like to add a sparkly something in the eye. And I have had these. Oops. I've had these for a long time. Hang on, let me find them. These had come from a collection from Stampin' Up, and they had a Peacock collection, and they have these cute little gems. And this packet of them hasn't even been opened. You could use like just the clear to put a little dot there, but I think I want something just a little bit, you know, brighter. And I just want a tiny one. Let's see how this one would look in the center here of his eye. Oh, that's pretty. I do want to put, I'm not sure, like I've told you guys before, I always use just a tiny bit of glue to make sure that things are going to stick. There's nothing worse than doing all the work and then having it not stick. Okay. So there we go. We've got all of this dimension on this card. We've even got a little sparkly going up there. So isn't that great? I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys. I still have like almost 20 minutes. Let's work on another one. But isn't that fun? Let's see what else we can do to another one. Let me close my glue up. Let's see what we can do to make this one a little bit different. Maybe this one, since we've got our edging like this around there. Let's see what some of our other words are. And you know, and what I was saying was, you could work on these, you could get your cards all ready, and then you have, you know, some sayings, and then no matter what occasion that you need a card for, all you've got to do is just, you know, stick that on the card. You could even ink the edges of your, you know, your phrases, cut your phrases apart, ink them up, and then you're all ready to go for the next time you need a card to send. What are the most kinds of cards that you find that you need most of the time? What's your biggest category of card? I think mine is birthday cards. Birthday cards by far are my most used kind of card. So I'm just trying to cut these like in the center. I kind of feel like with that is way off. This is not straight. Let me see if I can kind of trim it up a little bit better. There, that's a little better. Sometimes when you only have like a little hairline that needs trimmed off, it's hard to do on these paper trimmers. Just kind of difficult. What else you guys got going on? Yes, birthday. Right, Donna? I know. I think that's the biggest category of cards for me, for sure. That's not gonna stay. There we go. So we can just take these and ink them all up. Okay. So it really kind of doesn't even look straight. I think I'll cut this one here between with and vibrant. So this one would have vibrant hues and joyful moments. Right there. Wishing you a day filled with vibrant hues and joyful moments. I think I would just kind of do it the same. I would still put it, I kind of like that offset. Since we've got the two things, I kind of like it offset like that. But see how it just needs, you guys can't even, that's kind of far away. I'm sorry. It's just, even though this is not real white paper, it's a little bit off white. But, you know, with this being the background, it totally looks, you know, more white. So you almost need to have something a little bit to kind of tone it down. And I wish I would have had something that was kind of that pink color. I'm just going to use a little bit of this vintage photo. Since we did the edges, I'm just going to see what I think about that. Just kind of tones it down a little bit. I think it's always interesting how even just, you know, doing the very edges, just inking a little bit really kind of helps bring it all together and tone it down a little. And you can pull it up into, you know, the word strip as far as you want. And maybe I will pull it in a little bit more. Let's see how that looks. It's almost like we need more. And let me show you. I'll show you what to do. If you decided that you wanted more of this color on your card edges, let's give it a little bit more ink. I'm just gonna cut this like this. Oops. And I'm just going to bump it up on the edge right here. And then I'm just going to pull it in a little bit farther. It's just kind of giving it more of that vintage antique-y look. Of course, it's easier if if you decide to do this beforehand instead of having to, hold your paper along the side. But look at that. See, we're starting to give it more of an antique look. And just kind of pull it over into the colors. And notice I still had enough, ink on my tool here that I haven't even put any more on. I tell you what, this thing's getting worn though. And you know what? These are my favorite. The little dome things are my favorite. For some reason, I'm just able to get a better application that I like. And you know, everybody has their favorite tools. What one person likes, and the brushes I like better. And I could have used my brush because it does probably have some of that vintage in it. But now look at what a difference that this is. Look how we've toned it down compared to this one. I mean, just by adding that much only on the edges, it really kind of reads across the whole thing, don't you think? Hi Wendy, how are you? So, oh my goodness, you guys. I don't know who is up after me. Let me look right. Oh, I know. If you look in the description, the next person is right up after me. Let me see. Oh, I've done something crazy here now on my screen. Let me see. Oh, it is just, hang on just a second. Oh my goodness. That's so annoying when you try to do something when you're already online. I did all of that. I copied everybody in and I knew I had done it, but my goodness. Do you think I could have remembered for just that amount of time? Memory isn't what it used to be. Okay. Yes, it's Jeannie. I wondered. It seems like Jeannie is after me a lot. Jeannie, with Jeannie's palette. And so she's going to be up. She does lots of painting. Lots of fun paintings. And sometimes Jeannie makes jewelry. And I love when she does some of her paint pours. Or I love the paint pour method that has the pulled chain look. I love those. In fact, I bought one of those paintings from her. Oh, how funny. It's kind of a peacock. Hey, Jeannie, would you guess I like peacocks? How funny. And you could just put that right there. If you wanted to, you could matte it a little bit with some pink. We could do that. I don't know if this is wide enough to put all of it on here. But you could put a little bit, yeah, that would be, and you could like run it across the bottom. I don't like that though, not for this card. I don't really like that. A lot of cards I will matte it with more of the color, but I would rather have more of my paper print showing than that. And we could put it on here just flat, which I think I'll do. I think on this one I'll just put it down flat. Opened up my phone to check who was next, and I'm already getting a call. You guys, I have been getting so many calls lately telling me that they still need information for my loan application. I'm like, I don't have a loan application. Leave me alone. And it's like you can block the numbers and then it comes from another number. And some of them, the recording is so awful. It's like it's kind of this hit or miss trying to even understand what it was saying. And finally, somebody left me a voicemail, and I'm like, oh, that's the same information that they're trying to leave in that message I can't understand. So then when I found that, I'm like, oh, you guys are gone. Delete, delete, block, all the stuff. Okay, so there we go. So here we've got... Here's the difference in when you, and most of the stuff I think is pretty dry that we've already put on. So here's this one with its shimmer and all of its little, you know, goodies and details. And then here's this one. We've just put this on flat. So this one we raised up. I can't get it picked back up. So this one we raised the word strips. This one we just glued them down flat. So a little bit of a different look. And you know, sometimes it just doesn't take very much of a difference to, you know, to be able to make things look totally different. Now, I did like that shimmer. I'm going to put some more shimmer on this guy. Let's see. I see Donna said something. Oh, Wendy. Wendy said she spent 20 minutes looking for Susan. Yeah, Susan was on before I was. Oh, Wendy. Some days are like that, you know. Oh, I didn't put anything in this one on the other one. And I'm just going to put this all around. These shimmer pins are great, you guys. And if you get one and you're trying to figure out why it won't work, this is why. When you get a shimmer pin, and this one is a Wink Estella. I think I've got, I don't know if this one is or not. This one was from Close to My Heart. I think I've got some from Crafter's Companion. But no matter where you get them from, who knows? They're probably all made in the same place. You know how that goes. You know, so when you get them, they're going to have this band right here. Okay, so they've got a band right here, and you twist it apart like this. It comes apart, and then you remove the band, so the band will slide off. And then you're going to, you know, twist it back together. So if you're wondering why it's not working, you got to take the band off. And then you shake it up and you just pinch it enough until you can see that it's starting to load into the brush tip. So it's got this nib that will, you know, have your shimmer stuff coming out. And then once you see it, you know, going down in there, you know that you're ready to be able to use it. And I tell you, don't squeeze it way too much, because you get to squeezing it and it's like, oh, it's not doing anything yet. It's just not doing anything. It's not doing, and all of a sudden, boom, you got way too much and it's like coming out everywhere. So just be patient. Just do it a little bit at a time. Don't you love all my what not to do tips I give you? How do you think I know those things? Anybody got a guess? You know how I know them. Because I did them. I did the do not do it. Oh, Donna says she's going into birthday months. Great idea. Yeah, right? Birthday months? Yes. Well, so my oldest daughter came this last weekend, and she was saying we were going to celebrate, we were going to have a Q1 birthday. Well, she actually put it in a text, and she says, we're going to celebrate all Q1 birthdays. My middle daughter, who really has not been in business world settings, she's done all kinds of other things, and she goes, what is Q1? And so they were going, it means Q1, like the first 3 months of the year. She goes, oh my gosh. She goes, well, I didn't know that was what we were doing. So there were 4 of us for Q1 birthdays, and she goes over, and I can't remember. Oh, she went to our grocery store that we go to most of the time. It's not a co-op. It's like I think it's like an employee-owned store, and they have great prices. And I tell you what, we really do enjoy shopping there. It's about the least expensive. Now, some things they don't have. Seems like their fruit is kind of, you know, hit or miss, and that's the only thing that I've really noticed that I don't care for. And so she went over there to get a cake, and the lady goes, and she's telling her what she wants on the cake. She wants 4 names on it, and the lady puts them like on 4 corners of the cake. And she says, gosh, why can't I get this off? There we go. And the lady goes, well, I wish you would have been here 10 minutes ago. She says, because the cake decorator just left. And so she laughed, and she goes, I might just have to print them on. And so Kathy goes, I don't care what you do. She's just get the names on there. And so it was so funny. She got a chocolate cake with white lettering, and I mean, it was fine. And then she bought the numbers for each person's birthday, how old they were. She put them in the corners of the cake. So yeah, so that's how you do 4 birthdays on one cake. And so then we're laughing, going, well, who's in Q2? So we're thinking about it, and we're like, there's only one person. And she's already, and so my daughter's already let us know she will not be here in the summer. It's just going to be too hot. Now she's going to come back for the next birthday because then that's her grandson. So she'll be back for that birthday. But she will not be coming back for the, the hot time of the year. I go, it might not be that hot by your birthday. And so, so she just says, no, she's still not coming. She is not going to do it. I'm just like, you're too funny. And so she says, yeah, she was not going to come for that part of the year. Let me see. I've got these other colors too, you guys. Look here. These are pops of color. These are by scrapbook.com. And so scrapbook.com, a lot of times, they'll have their own things on sale too, just like everybody. And they've got a nice variety. And usually, they're less expensive than, probably what Nouveau drops are. Let's use this one. This one hadn't even been used. So, and this is how, this is a perfect opportunity to show you these too. When you take these out, oh, hi, Stephanie. You just found it. Happy surprise. Well, welcome. So when you take this out, or when you take the lid off and it's brand new, pull off this little tip. And now it's got a little section in here. Ooh, I'm glad that didn't fall on my card, you guys. I need a wipe. So it's got this little tip in here, and you can you see how it's red? It's not going to send anything out of there. So you just pop it out. So now you've got that out of the way. Now you can put it on. It just screws on a little. It just has a short little screw amount. And then, then you can use those. And those, maybe, there's a lot kind of this color on here. And that you don't have to do them just perfect. You can just, squeeze a little color on. Maybe just even a little line of color. That's just going to give it a little bit more dimension. I don't know. I should have played with that first. That's coming out way... I don't know. I kind of like the... Now I said it was less expensive. It is, but maybe I don't like the tip as well as the Nouveau drops. Okay, practice with it first. Practice on something you don't need to use on right away. Yeah, some of that comes out a lot thicker, faster. Yeah, you get more of a blob. This would definitely be great for just making the circle, the little dot. Yeah, that's coming out too fast. I'll be able to manage it though. But you guys, thanks for popping in, and let's go over. So we've got our Take 5 group is a Facebook group, and so on the last Friday of the month, we come over and we just do a YouTube hop. And so everybody is doing that today, and everybody is in the that's in the lineup. They are in the description of this video, and so I put down the link of each page, their YouTube page, and so you can find them that way. And they're right in order of how we are going to be presenting today, the order of our people on there. Yeah, right. You don't want to take the thing out over your card. Yes, boy, I barely missed it, didn't I, Stephanie? Oh, it should even out if you don't heat it. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. And some of it, it's going to be, it's kind of blobby and interesting. Whoa! I'll show you what it's like. See, I mean, it's kind of messy. All of those are a little bit messier than I would like, but still, it's color and it's got some dimension. And not everything is flat or rounded or whatever. So I'm still going to put those on there and finish them up. But I do like that. But some of this might be a hint on what you'll get as your gifty thing in the newsletter for the Sunday summary. So if you haven't signed up for that and you want to check that out, and it it's short. I don't go through a ton of stuff, so it's a short read. But the link to that is also in the description. I got the link to all kinds of stuff in the description today, you guys. So a lot of times when I stream to both Facebook and YouTube, I can't do that until later on YouTube because Facebook won't send it out at all if you've got very many links to anything. So we try to tend not to do that over there. So anyway, thank you, YouTube, for letting us do other things we'd like to do. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. Let's go over and check out what Jeannie has got going on, okay? Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and let's see what else is going on at Take 5. Bye-bye.